Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to your Rochester Rotary Club meeting. I'm Peter Glennon, President, presiding over these proceedings for the final time. It is the end of another Rotary year. Where's the time gone? Feels like only 3 weeks ago that we first got together in person. You know, someday in the future, in about another 50 years, Don Tweetmeyer and his history team here will write about this unique year and about how we all stuck together, made the best of it, make the best of it. And for me, it was sweet lemonade. I very much enjoyed serving you as president. Thank you for that opportunity. Today we're going to reflect on some of the successes over this past year. We'll laugh a bit, maybe share a tear, and then we'll welcome our next president, Scott Rasmussen, who's seated back in that corner, so that we may continue our constant effort of improving our club to better serve the children and each other, fulfilling both of the Rotary mottos. But first, we have some of our own works to which we must attend. I therefore call this meeting of the Rochester Rotary Club our final meeting for 2020-2021 year to order. Please join me in rise to recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. If you could remain standing, please, for our invocation by our Marine Corps veteran, a Rotarian since 1980, a Rotarian who never missed a meeting this year. He centered us at the start of each meeting and inspired us with his luminous insight on the topics and issues that we address each week. He's also a birthday boy today, turning 82. Ladies and gentlemen, past club president, my friend, Peter Glennon.
82. Word of the year in school. Leadership is not a position or a title. Leadership is action and example. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, as we end this Rotary year, we give thanks to President Peter for his leadership during these many months of uncertainties. As we reflect back on this Rotary year, President Peter has truly led us in the direction we should walk, in the work we should do, and to the people we should serve. Heavenly Father, we are thankful for the talents that you give to each of us and the opportunities to use them in the service of others. It is through your guidance that we can make a difference, not only in our community, but throughout the Rotary world. Heavenly Father, be with the men and women of our police force who each day leave their families to protect us. We're thankful for those serving in the military who stand ready. Be with those absent from us this day. If they are traveling, keep them safe. If they are ill, place your healing hands upon them. We ask for your blessings on the food we partake. And may all we do and all we say be to your honor and glory. To this we say amen.
Amen. Thank you. Please be seated. Now, with our news and weather of the day, we have our U.S. Army veteran, the Associate News Director for 13 WHAM TV, past Rotary District Governor, past Rochester Rotary Club President, a Rotarian who shared with us the good and the bad each week this year, including the weather, particularly when he was down in Aruba. He's a man we all know very well for his sustained dedication to Rotary, and he is a true bright spot in all of our lives. Did I mention that he's been a Rochester Rotarian since 1976? Ladies and gentlemen, Don Elhart.
Thank you, President Peter, and thank you for a wonderful year in Rotary. Starting remotely and finally ending in person with a gathering here, and which you're sharing with people at home as well. What a wonderful tribute. I'm not going to dwell a lot on the news headlines today because we've got a few bright spots to share a little bit, but obviously the news, I think, summed up pretty much in this area with violence, shootings, the drug overdoses that we've seen, and more recently another shooting last night. I think I just sum those up as saying we know the challenges that we face as Rotarians. We know the good that we're doing at young ages of schooling. May we continue to keep all of those young people in our thoughts and our mission as we serve others in our community. All right, I'm going to get to Wall Street right now. The Dow, we're going to end this year up right now at least 79 points. $34,361. NASDAQ is off about $1.50, $14,499. S&P 500 up 4 1/4 at 42.94. The Constellation branch is up $1.20 to 230.59. Kodak off 4 cents, $8.77. Paycheck up 61 cents at 107.52. Xerox is up a dime at 23.68. Tootsie Roll keeps disappearing. It's gone again. We don't want to lose it today. So Tootsie Roll, off 15 cents a share. $34.23. Now it's down because they don't know the number of bright spots we're going to have in a moment, so we're going to share with you. Also, sports update. Toby said, I don't follow all the sports. Switzerland beat France, and now Germany's playing England. Yep. And do we have an update? Where'd Toby go?
0-0.
0-0. All right, we get it all. Sports, news, weather, and sport. Weather. A week or 2 weeks, last week we predicted thunder showers today, and look at this, we turned it around. Plenty of sunshine for President Peter's last meeting. We expect a high today of 90 degrees. We're at 91 right now, if I get my watch. Thunderstorms are coming later on Wednesday with a high of 83. Cloudy skies on Thursday, 74. Morning showers on Friday, 75. Sunday and Saturday, both in the mid-70s, partly cloudy. Scattered thunderstorms next Tuesday, but we won't be meeting until the week after that, so we don't care about the weather. All right. We have a few Tootsie Roll bright spots that I'd like to share, and that's what we're going to wrap up this year. We have done very well. Obviously, if you give $100 to the Rotary Foundation and pledge to do that, and we are taking pledges today even for next year if you want to do that. You get to name a Tootsie Roll bright spot, and we give you $1 million bill from Rotary for making that nomination. We had two, Hank Ralston and Tim Cook, both wanting to make Peter Glennon our Tootsie Roll bright spot for this last day. Yes, so give a round of applause. Recognized for his leadership and poise navigating our club through the pandemic, and a year of virtual meetings continuing when President Julie started at the beginning of the pandemic. Also drove a new strategic planning process, brought much attention to the Sunshine Camp by presenting Sunshine Syrup to our luncheon speakers. So Tim Cook and Hank Ralston making President Peter our first Tootsie Roll bright spot for this last meeting.
Thank you.
I hope I don't leave any out. I am going to, and who else? Was it someone else? Who else wanted Peter Kellerhouse? Somebody else. I know you did. You're going to give him money, but somebody else is going to join me in giving Peter Kellerhouse our Tootsie Roll prize spot. Well, I mean, Nick, we got Julie. Oh, we got a bunch. Nick Lopella and Julie, Barry Culhane as well. Look at this. All right. John Bartholomew, who's leaving us, by the way, going down to Annapolis, Maryland. He told me in the parking lot. So, all right, all of you got a lot of support here today, past President Peter. We are nominating. I am nominating Peter as well as a Tootsie Roll bright spot. Not only for all he's done for Rotary. Look at this podium. We're back. It's been redone. I'm stealing his thunder and announcing it. But his dedication to Rotary is unsurpassed. It is his birthday today. He is one of our club's most recent new major donors. You can't sum it up with a good friend, President Peter, past president. I don't get to take over the meeting. I got one last one. Perry Bradley, where's Perry? Perry Bradley has a Tootsie Roll bright spot that he wants to present, so I said, let's let him do that today.
Thank you, Don. It's my pleasure today to recognize Tyler Cook. That would be our own Randy Cook's son.
Randy, wow, I'm using this.
Tyler is a golfer. He's a member of the Caledonia High School golf team. Now, a few weeks ago, Caledonia defeated Geneseo High School to capture the Class D Section 5 championship. In addition, Tyler was low scorer in the semifinal match. Plus, Tyler was low scorer in the final match. And Tyler is an 8th grader. So I think we got a golfer here. So Brandy?
it's a shame Tyler couldn't have been there to help you.
Have you ever brought him to a Rotary meeting?
I think it's about time Tyler came to a Rotary meeting. I think that would be most appropriate for that.
Congratulations, Tyler. Nice job. Thank you. Great mom, by the way. You know something?
Oh, yes.
Feeling pretty good in here. Hey, Julie. Past President Julie? Could you stand up for a second? Please? Okay.
You know I'm up later, right?
No, we changed the script. Hey, folks, you might not remember, but it was this time last year when we were on Zoom. And while President Julie had a last meeting, she didn't have one in person. I think she did a great job. Don't you guys think? Yes. Thank you. All right, again, welcome everybody, visiting Rotarians, guests, family, friends. This is where we get together, Rochester Rotary, every Tuesday. A little fellowship and information. We're going to introduce all of our guests and visiting Rotarians by our Sergeant at Arms in a few minutes. But I want to remind everybody, we get together on Tuesdays. We also record this. We're still on Zoom. We still have some people on Zoom right now. We record this. The video is shared with our members who may miss the meeting. And we also create a podcast. We take the audio from this and we distribute that every Wednesday wherever all of the fine podcasts are, whether on Spotify or Apple iTunes or wherever you prefer. And every time that we have these wonderful meetings with these great presenters from the community, we always learn something. And it's never a bad idea to want to share with a friend or a colleague something you learned here at Rochester Rotary. It's very easy by just sharing that podcast link. So, now to introduce our visiting Rotarians and guests and to update us on the goings-on of our club. For a final time is our Sergeant at Arms, before he becomes our Vice President of Philanthropy starting July 1st. He is from Wells Fargo Advisors. He's spotlighted in Forbes magazine as a next generation money manager. He's also the co-chairman of our Trail Mix Committee, a sponsor of our Trail Mix Run, and a guy who actually runs the Trail Mix 5K at Sunshine Camp. He's also a mentor to one of our school number 8 scholars, a young man named Frank. He's a member of our social committee. He's also the first Rotarian who ventured out this past year beyond our borders during COVID to Colorado and Montana to deliver to us our announcements and his patented cutting-edge jokes. He's also the only Rotarian I know who can make a Rotary International board member and vice president of Rotary International laugh during a meeting, resulting in her announcing that our Sergeant at Arms made her giggle. Very good. He also had the new president of Monroe Community College laughing aloud. Ladies and gentlemen, he's a Rotarian since 2016, a man with 1,000 nicknames. But today, I'd like to introduce him simply as my friend, and by the name given to him by his parents. One of the finest Sergeant at Arms that we've had, and a true bright star in the future of our club. Ladies and gentlemen, Nicholas Rocco LaPena.
I don't know who he was talking about, but that guy sounds pretty cool. So thank you, President Peter. I appreciate the kind words, and what an exciting day, all being here together. It seems just like last week was my first time standing at this podium, and now my term is winding down, but I guess that is exactly what happened. Last year was challenging, but didn't we make the best of it? Kept our fellowship together, Peter's leadership. So we do have quite a few guests today and some announcements, so I'm just going to dive right in. No more of the corny jokes, I promise. First, we want to welcome, again, we have a couple of visiting Rotarians. We might not remember how to do that, but it's pretty simple. We just say hello, and then we're going to greet them by their first name. So first up, from the Penfield Rotary Club, our current Rotary District Governor, Linda Cole. Hi, Linda. Next up, from the Canandaigua Rotary Club, and our next District Governor, Janet Taniro. Now to welcome our guests. for whom we do our patented Rochester Rotary one clap after each name. I'm going to introduce the guest and who's their sponsor for today, but let's make sure we give them a warm Rotary welcome. So first up, Kimberly Glennon, wife and guest of Peter Glennon. Madeline Glennon, daughter and guest of Peter Glennon. Pearson Glennon, son and guest of Peter Glennon. Holden Glennon, son and guest of Peter Glennon. Tate Glennon, son and guest of Peter Glennon. Abby Stewart, sunshine camper, now counselor, friend and guest of Peter Glennon. Jeff Gould, co-founder and board member of Honor Flight Rochester, friend and guest of Peter Glennon. Richard Stewart, president and CEO of Honor Flight Rochester, friend and guest of Peter Glennon. Frank Vavrick, treasurer, VP of Finance and board member of Honor Flight Rochester, friend and guest of Peter Glennon. Greg Faust, VP of Volunteer Resources at Honor Flight Rochester, friend and guest of Peter Glennon. Kelsey Teglash, the Glennon Law Firm, guest of Peter Glennon. Nick Schwarm, from the Glennon Law Firm, guest of Peter Glennon. Nick Roberts, day camp, inside or outside, whatever you'd like to do. You then take a picture and post it on Facebook or Instagram, and you can include the hashtag Sunshine Campout in the post and tag the Sunshine Camp, which is at Rotary Sunshine Camp. You then pledge $25 to Rochester Rotary Sunshine Camp. You can make these donations right on the website, sunshinecamp.org, and we encourage you to challenge family members, friends, colleagues to camp out as well. It's a great cause, easy way to get involved, and together we can make a huge difference raising some money for the kids. Next up, that's all we have for announcements today. We do have quite a few birthdays. I think love was in the air during the month of June. So I'm gonna go through here, but again, we'll give the famous patented Rochester Rotary one clap and a very happy birthday to each and every one of you. First up, June 24th, Peter Landers. June 24th, Matt Bahu. June 26th, Frank Burkhart. This must be a good day. June 26th, Nick LaPena. Also June 26th, my good friend Scott Rasmussen. Hank 27th, June 27th, Hank Stewart. June 28th, Gene Evans. June 29th, Chris Edgecombe. June 29th, Scott Fisk. June 29th, Ray Heffrich. And certainly last but not least, June 29th, Peter Kelderhouse. So before I throw it back to Peter, I'm just going to conclude. We will be talking about the cupcakes a little later on in the program today. But that's all I've got for you, and thank you everyone for joining us.
Thank you, Nick. Happy birthday, everybody. And cupcakes, yeah, I want to thank John White for underwriting those cupcakes that are going out to everybody. And your birthday, if it falls today, on a Rotary Day, you get 2. So I also see we have 2 of the birthday boys here. So what if we just sing happy birthday to Peter and Scott Fisk? What do you think? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Peter. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. All right. All right, we have a couple of special recognitions now to make, folks, before we get into our final remarks. We have Rochester Rotary Service Fellows. We have 2 very special people who worked very hard this past year to ensure that our weekly meetings and all of our Rotary business kept moving forward. So I'll ask our Sergeant at Arms to come back up here to assist. Yes, many people contributed to our success throughout this year, but these 2 people in particular went above and beyond their job titles, their pay grades, and they should be recognized for their support and dedication to the Rochester Rotary Club this year. Therefore, they're being recognized as the Rochester Rotary Service Fellows, and I am making a $100 donation to Rochester Rotary in each of their respective names. Sergeant LaPena, would you like to read the citations?
right, so the first citation here. The Rochester Rotary Club hereby recognizes and names Kelsey Teglash, a Rochester Rotary Service Fellow, this 29th day of June 2021, in recognition and appreciation for significant contributions of time, talent, and enriching the lives of our world neighbors, city youth, and people with disabilities. Come on up, Kelsey. Drum roll. All right, so next up for the second citation, the Rochester Rotary Club hereby recognizes and names Kimberly Glennon, a Rochester Rotary Service Fellow, this 29th day of June 2021, in recognition and appreciation for significant contributions of time and talent, enriching the lives of our world neighbors, city youth, and people with disabilities. Kimberly, please come up to accept this award.
Thank you, Nick. Folks, this year would not have been possible without these two individuals. I have to tell you, Kelsey guarded my calendar with her life. She made sure that I was at every Rotary meeting I was supposed to be at. She made sure that I spoke with every presenter beforehand and made sure that I got everything done. Even though Tracy asked me 10 times and I still didn't get to it, Kelsey made sure it happened. And my wife, you have no idea, from helping find some great presenters like last week's Pete Pitzinger, to helping with the thought for the day, and of course always being there, whether I'm serving in the military or playing with honor flight or building a law firm. She's got my back. All right. Let me share with you guys some thoughts before I end up passing this past President Julie, who wants to apparently have a year in review. I'll tell you, I had planned to have a PowerPoint for today with my year in review, showing photos of all the highlights and events from this past year. And I put it together with Kelsey's assistance. And then as we're looking through this, I realized that all of these photos of the computer screen of Zoom meetings, they just all look the same, and you weren't going to get it. So I scrapped it. Instead, ladies and gentlemen, at the start of this year, we presented a vision with 3 goals to you. And then this January, I presented a mid-year report about how we were operating and acting towards accomplishing those goals. So I figured today I would just provide you with a summary final report of what we got done this year. But first, if you'd indulge me, I know there's a lot of thank yous, but I do want to say a few more thank yous. First and foremost, to every one of you, members of the Rochester Rotary Club, for providing this opportunity to serve in this role for you. I really appreciate all of your efforts throughout this year, and I sincerely mean that. I look forward to continuing to serve and to be highly engaged in Rotary. I look forward to that day when everybody smiles when they hear about the year I joined Rotary, as we do with Don Alhart, Barry Bradley, and Lou Melbeck, so among others. But second, I need to thank the heart of the Rochester Rotary Organization. Yes, I mean our talented and gifted Executive Director, Tracy Dreisbach. There's really no better person to be our Executive Director and to be at the center of our operations, folks. If you didn't know, if you don't know her background, because we celebrate our 100th anniversary of Sunshine Camp next year, we'll be celebrating Tracy's 25th anniversary with Rochester Rotary. She knows everything in and out. Thank you. And similarly, we have to thank all the other people who make our dreams come true, from the Rotary office and the camp. They're back here. We have Myrna and Alicia, Brandy, Jared, and Princeton. They truly are the heart and soul of what Rochester Rotary gets done. Of course, we've got to thank everybody who helped make our meetings happen every week, especially on Zoom, from Peter, Don, Nick, our VP of Events, Paulie Guglielmo, who had the great idea of creating that podcast and got it done each week. Thank you guys. It worked very, very well. And I want to thank all of our club board members and all of our club committee chairs for moving forward. Nobody ever stopped and said, hey, we can't do this. Everybody just came up with a way to do it. And I really appreciate that. We also have to thank each member of our trust board, in particular, for their steady hand on our finances throughout this year. Let's not forget things were a little funny back last year. And I have to tell you, it's also really been fun being club president this year alongside my good friend, trust president Tim Cook. Tim and I have shared a vision for Rotary for quite some time, and it was really, really fun to be able to start implementing it together this year. So thank you, Tim. Finally, I have to thank those close to me who made personal sacrifices this past year to make this happen, to allow me to be here. Of course, my family we met here today, who really are, they can be quiet during meetings on Zoom. I couldn't believe it. They're fantastic. But that also goes back to my wife, who keeps the trains moving on time. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. We also have my law firm team. We've got about half of them here. They knew that Tuesdays were Rotary Day and they would never get my attention. And so they kept going and they kept juggling everything. Thank you guys, I really appreciate it. We also have my friends from Honor Flight Rochester. These guys that are here today, they're some of the people who really make Honor Flight work. And while we were not able to fly missions over this past year, they were all very supportive of me coming in to serve as this club's president, and I thank you guys for that. I have to admit, I very much look forward to taking off the jacket and tie and donning my orange Honor Flight shirt as we launch Mission 70 this September on the 20th anniversary of 9/11. So thank you guys. All right. So this has really been a fun year. Let me briefly summarize for you what we got accomplished and share where I think we should keep our focus as we move forward into this new Rotary year starting on Thursday. Our very first meeting was July 14th, 2020. And at that meeting, I shared 3 goals. The first was that within 5 years, we would be the best known service organization for children with disabilities. The second goal was that in 10 years' time, we would double our trust fund. And the third goal was mission forward, simply seeking to improve everything that we do and have it aligned with our goals and our efforts. We certainly got the ball going this year towards attaining those goals, and let me just touch on a couple of those. For that first goal, being the best known service organization, we refined our messaging about who Rochester Rotary is, what we do, what our potential members look like. We are a premier service organization comprised of business people and professionals who want to help make the world a little bit better for children and for each other. See, that follows the 2 official Rotary mottos, service above self and one profits most who serves best. This makes it easier, having this messaging makes it easier to communicate with others about who we are, and it makes us attractive to those like-minded potential members who want to come join us serving the children and the community. We renamed our campus facility, our 157 acres campus facility, to simply the Sunshine Camp. So it's easier for the public to understand and to associate the Rochester Rotary Sunshine Camp, especially as we're coming upon the celebration of our 100th anniversary. Let's make it easy. We've been serving the needs of children with disabilities at the Rochester Rotary Sunshine Camp for nearly 100 years. To help get all this messaging out, we created a 66-page marketing plan containing dozens of marketing tactics to get this message out. Let's not forget we have it. And Tim Cook and Jeff Halleck and the marketing team, they really spent a lot of time on it. So let's follow it. We've been so far and it's working. It's resulted in a lot of publicity for us. We shared this message. We received a lot of television, radio, and newspaper coverage over the year, whether sadly about the camp not being able to open last year, or positively how we turned that into a positive with Camp in a Bag program, where we went out and delivered the camp to the campers at home. And then we were also had the coverage with the camp reopening this year. And of course, we were featured on the news, television news, for our trail mix in October, the one and only live race during COVID. It was contained right on our property. Not to mention, we received a lot of radio chatter and newspaper coverage of some of our programs, including Dr. Michael Mendoza. We nearly broke Zoom on that one, folks. We almost hit our seat limit. I think we missed it by 2. We also had Jeff Van Gundy, and then when we had the Red Wings and the New York Post journalists, that was all talked about out there, and they kept talking about Rochester Rotary and the Sunshine Camp. We're also able to share our story to a broader audience through that podcast. Every Wednesday, Paulie G got it out. Thank you so much. You know, we have 99 subscribers to it and over 1,000 listens. It's just an easy way to share a link with people to get our word out. It's that simple. Thanks again, Paulie, for working on this. We also have our Sunshine Syrup. Say that 3 times fast. Sunshine Syrup. Yes, some people have joked that I'm the syrup president, but I'm very proud of that because this syrup is the one tangible thing we have to share with the community that tells people what we do. Many thanks to Jared Alexander's late father, Butch Alexander, who started this for us down at the camp, and many thanks to Jared for continuing what Butch had started. It's very important because it tells our story. Right here on the back. It's right there. It is made with sunshine, laughter, and love. I'm not kidding you when I say that. But we need to consider how we can produce more of this. And how to strategically share the bottles, whether it's gifts for clients, or whether we get together the volunteers to go out to the farmers markets. It's not about selling it, folks. It's about telling the story. It's on the back. Read it. It started in 1922, Sunshine Camp by Rochester Rotary. So I want to thank Tim Mason and Mason Marketing for helping us get that label done and getting this bottle out. But it is true. It says right here, sunshine, laughter, and love. So folks, we got the syrup going. We also got social media, further spreading our message. Kellyanne, thank you for getting that going. We post every day on all of the major outlets. And we get everything about our programs, about our events, about information. It's out there. And then we use a new little tagline at the end of it. It's very simple. It just says, join us, help the children, and each other. Where's that from? Well, join us is just a welcoming remark. Help us help the children, that's what we do. That satisfies that first motto of service above self. And help us help each other, that's the second motto. One profits most, who serves best. See, that's the networking part of our club. Yes, we are a service organization, we are not a networking group. But when you're here, engaged, working side by side, fellow Rotarians to achieve our mission, you get to know these people. You get to trust them. And you end up relying on them, and you can turn to them in times of need. That's why all of our law firm signage comes from Image 360 and Julie St. Germain. Why my HVAC comes from Jim and Ray Isaac at Isaac Heating. All of my challenging computer and IT issues are handled by Andre Godfrey and his team at Entree Computer Services. My public relations are handled by Tim Cook in Cook Communications. Folks, I can go on and on. And the point's not about promoting these businesses. No, these folks are my friends. I met each one of them here at Rochester Rotary, and I worked side by side with them on various committees and projects here at Rotary. And I learned who they were, and I learned to trust them, and I appreciate their support. That's just the point, that second motto for Rotary. But folks, our message is simple, it's clear, and it is getting out there. We will be the best known service organization for children with disabilities in 4 more years. And our message will help attract more like-minded people to our membership ranks and donors to our trust. As for the second goal of doubling our trust, well, at that first meeting, I announced that we were at just over 6 million, and the goal was to hit 12 million by 2030. Today, 1 year into this 10-year plan, we're over 7 million. Great. Now, if I were a politician, I'd take credit for that. But we all know just God bless that stock market for rallying. But the truth is, we really do need to increase our trust. Folks, you've heard us talk about it. We have to go out every year and raise, on top of what we can take from our trust, we have to raise $750,000 to $800,000 for our operations. That number's just going to keep rising every year. But if we could take the opportunity by sharing our message with throughout the community and increase our donations to our Rochester Rotary Trust, life's going to be a lot easier for Tracy Dreisbeck in another 25 years when she's out there trying to we can make our annual financial goal manageable. So folks, we also have a new financial plan. We have planned giving. We have other new fundraising events. The planned giving, you can pledge today to leave a legacy tomorrow to Rochester Rotary through your will, so our club can continue its mission helping the children. But we do need to increase the number of minority group nominees for membership. and to gather more information about how we are perceived by other potential members. We do have plans in work to address these two topics, including setting up partnerships to afford you, the Rochester Rotary member, the opportunity to expand your network and your circle of friendships and relationships with others. And we can just see what happens as you broaden your relationships into those broader areas of our community. Membership. Believe it or not, we actually got new members this past year. We got about 10 or 11, I think. Plus, we got the 17 women of Rotary who joined us with full privileges. You know that this past year we restructured our membership process by creating separate engagement and evaluation committees. And you'll be hearing from incoming President Scott about further membership development plans. It will work. We will be able to attract and retain new members, particularly as we keep our sharpened message of who we are and what we do. But remember, we need to develop a culture of everyone being responsible for recruiting new members. As members, we cannot simply rely on a committee to satisfy our recruitment responsibilities, because doing so will only narrow the network from where we find new members. And we want new members from everywhere, from all areas of our community. We also have the Volunteer Resource Committee. Thankfully, with the world reopening, we'll be able to have more volunteer opportunities, and we'll be able to get that VRC going, because it will be important to helping with our processes. The goal, remember, is for it to function as a human resources department for our members and to staff all of our volunteer projects and others that remain within our brand, helping children, the IDD community, and Rotary. Last two is the Building Momentum program. A little challenging with school closed, but we are moving forward with the School Number 8 program that will be teaching the youngsters at School Number 8 all about financial literacy, entrepreneurism, business, professional etiquette, and the like. We do have the curriculum being developed, and we will be calling the committee back together soon to talk about those items. And finally, our International Mission Committee. Pre-COVID, we had plans to partner with Mercy High School and fly down to Guyana to volunteer working with orphans. Didn't happen, but maybe we can still partner with Mercy or with another entity, perhaps such as the new Rochester Rotary Award recipient, Dr. Vito Catella, and his HUGS organization. Perhaps we can volunteer and support him in his efforts to provide these surgeries to children with cleft palates or other facial deformities. But I'll tell you folks, it always feels better to roll up your sleeves and jump in there than it is to just simply write a check. So I look forward to us being able to get that off the ground. That concludes my final summary report. As you can see, there is more work to do as we go forward with this new Rotary year. And we truly can use everyone's help. I suggest that as we're here at the close of the new year and the start of the new Rotary year, that we decide to make Rotary a priority, that we recommit to getting engaged fully with Rotary. You're going to feel good about doing it, and you're going to make some great friends. Quick lesson, it's not hard to do. The biggest part of it is making the decision. Once you decide that you are going to make Rotary a priority, and you're going to commit, you can put every Tuesday lunch meeting down on your calendar, and you can guard it with your life, and don't let anything or anyone interfere with it, because it's a priority. If the noon hour truly is challenging for you, then join a committee that meets at a different time. Put those committee meeting dates on your calendar. And again, guard it. Don't let anyone interfere with it. Commit. It's not hard if you first make that decision to make Rotary a priority and you commit. I've done it for over 10 years now. And for the past more than a year, with the help of Kelsey, I've been able to keep my Tuesdays blocked from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. every single week for more than a year. So it is possible. You just have to decide that you want to make Rotary a priority and if you want to commit to it. See, once you make the decision, it's easy to say no to others or to respectfully request a different date or time for that invitation if it conflicts with a Rotary commitment. It just simply becomes a habit. Nobody has to do everything, but making Rotary a priority for just a partner, or just for lunch meetings or committee meeting, will give you a great experience and certainly help us move forward. So if you need motivation to help you with these things, to make that decision, to guard your calendar, then I strongly suggest that you just remember why we're here, why we do what we do. Why do we work hard for the children? Why do we work hard to raise nearly $1 million every single year? Why have Rochester Rotarians in the Sunshine Camp been serving children with disabilities for nearly 100 years? At our first meeting, I began my remarks discussing our why by sharing a story about my friends, Diane and Nathan, and how much it meant for them to learn about Sunshine Camp as Nathan has Down syndrome, and how exciting it was for Nathan to just feel like a kid by going to our summer camp, to have fun outdoors, to laugh among friends, and to be loved. And for Diane and her family, to get a little respite, take a little break from the challenges and stresses of day-to-day life. Well, today, folks, I'd like to conclude my remarks by sharing with you a very short film that I think further illustrates why we do what we do and why you should recommit to Rotary and make it a priority. That's why we're here, so that every child we serve can feel normal, because they're perfect. I apologize. They're perfect just the way they are. So, recommit. Make Rotary a priority in your life. Help these children enjoy that sunshine, that laughter, and that love. And we can all do it together. We can help each other. Friends, that's why I've signed off each week, as I will now, by simply saying, until next time, keep caring for the children and for each other. Thank you very much.
Well, where do I sign? Right? After that said it all. And I'm so proud to be standing up here for that man right there. So. I can't tell you how happy I am to be with all of you today. I don't know, I'm still choked up. It's nice to be back to some sense of normalcy and to be live and in person. This year has been filled with its challenges. It was a year of disconnection from work, friends, and for some, family. But there is one place that we can come every Tuesday that was filled with familiar faces and the fellowship of the Rochester Rotary. The luncheon format may have changed by going to virtual, but I could not think of a better person than President Peter Glennon to lead us through last year's uncertainty and challenging times. Peter and I will always share the start of the Rochester Rotary virtual lunches.
That's right.
I started virtual meetings in the last 3 months of my presidency, but Peter, he took the ball, went the distance, and took it to a whole new level. Now, with my meetings, you may have missed the virtual lesson. If you didn't see it, you missed it. You're out of luck. And in some cases, into Rochester Rotary Luncheon Podcasts, educating the public on all that Rotary has to offer and building that Rotary brand. President Pete's virtual luncheon format was not without a bit of levity. Again, something that was much needed in that COVID year. Rotarians were all entertained by Peter's creative nicknames for his Sergeant-at-Arms, Nick LaPena. Here to give you a few of those nicknames and to talk a little about TV trivia, I guess, is Nick No TV Knowledge Before the Year 2000 LaPena.
All right, thank you, Julie. And sorry, everyone, I'm back again. So, I look back on the start of COVID and kind of where we are today, and one word comes to mind, and that's grateful. And I think a lot of you would agree with that. I'm so fortunate and blessed to be standing up here with all of you today, and just wanted to take a minute, I guess, to share a personal bright spot that emerged throughout the pandemic, which I think we can all agree we needed a little bit more of. And that was my little Tuesday morning discussions before the Rotary meetings with Peter. And we talk on Tuesday. A lot of times it was pretty quick. Might be on the phone, might be a text or email. But one thing remained constant, and that was those darn nicknames that Peter was giving me. And I know I speak from speaking to just so many of you, you know how much you enjoyed these nicknames, just like I did. But I do have a confession to make. Most of the time, I had no idea what Peter was talking about. You see, we discuss, when we would talk in the morning, we would discuss some kind of theme. A lot of times these themes had something to do with like TV or trivia. And most of the time they were from before I was even a thought in anybody's mind. So I think there's a few things that I know, Peter, I speak on behalf of the entire club. You know, when I say thank you. Thank you for your leadership, keeping our fellowship together, and most importantly, you're teaching me about the movie Young Guns and so many other good TV that I didn't know existed before the year 2000. So you're a role model to everyone in this room, and you're truly moving up, my friend. And you can see we've got some trivia photos up here, so we're going to play a little game. I'm going to share 3 nicknames that were my favorites. With a couple careful keystrokes and the help of YouTube, I was almost always able to figure them out. But some of them still remain a mystery to me. So, I'm going to share 3. But for the grand prize, I've got a $25 Starbucks gift card. Whoever can tell me the reference that he was talking about, because for like 2 months it stumped me. So first up, one of my favorites, Nicholas Dr. Love LaPenna. So I still don't know what the reference was, but I've been called much worse, and that reminds me of a joke. Does anyone know what happened when the 2 vampires went on a blind date? It was love at first bite. Number 2, Nicholas Jubilee LaPenna. So this one really made me laugh, I guess just to myself in my home office, but after he had that nickname for me, I Googled it after the meeting, like anybody does that wants to make sure they're right about something. And sure enough, when you Google, you take out your phone and do it, Jubilee name meeting, it turns out it's a girl's name of Hebrew origin, meaning ram's horn. So, thanks. Thanks again. Well, I didn't know the context to start with. So, last but not least, this one I still don't understand fully, but Nicholas Tom Willis LaPenna. So I know Bruce Willis, but does anyone know who Tom Willis is? The clock is ticking.
Oh, there's a hand in the back.
You're up.
Is he the father on different strokes?
He is not the father.
That was like drumming, but close.
Peter, do you know?
Oh, Peter.
I just want to know. I want to make sure you just
Anyone
not
else?
throwing
Tom
this out
Willis.
willy-nilly.
What TV show I'm referring to? I'll give you a hint. It's before the year 2000. Man, nobody?
Welcome back, Cotter.
Nope. Someone say back at it?
Welcome back, Cotter.
Nope, not Welcome Back, Cotter. I learned about that one, though. I watched a couple episodes. What am I doing here? No one knows.
I guess I would.
I guess you win. You do. Well, anyway, it's from the show The Jeffersons. And that was a show, and again, I learned a lot from all this, and I hope you guys had fun with us. But Peter, thank you again for your leadership, and this is yours now, because you didn't guess it.
That was awesome. Thank you, Nick. Slick Nick. I don't know. I'm not good at that. You got any more, Peter? Aloysius. All right. We'll go with that. All right. So, Peter also shared with us his passion for the Buffalo Bills, with numerous updates from his Rochester Rotary sports reporter, Tim Cook, who was always on location at One Bills Drive. And there he is right there. Sorry, Tim, about the photos, a bit grainy, but that's what I was working with. Tim, I'm curious though, I did have a question in this little segment. Where are you? Oh, hi, Tim. Your predictions that you provided, how accurate were you? I mean, what's your record?
There were 19 games between the regular season and the playoffs, and I was right on 15 of them. So just about 80%.
I'm sure we'll be using you next season. The Bills! Okay. So thank you, Tim, for your tireless reporting from One Bills Drive.
A lot of travel there.
It is, I bet it was, and I love that backdrop. Okay. My all-time favorite luncheon segment was the monthly birthday announcements. Sergeant at Arms Nick LaPenna, I'm not calling him back up here, would announce each birthday along with the traditional Rotary home clap. President Peter would then thank a Rotarian in the audience for graciously supporting and sponsoring the birthday cupcakes that would be sent out to each birthday recipient on the week's list. Did everybody get their cupcakes?
No.
Show of hands, how many people did not get their cupcakes? What is going on here? That is just crazy talk. I didn't get my cupcake. In fact, I was going to put a shot of me sitting on the porch like this, but I thought, you know what? Peter's probably going to run long, so we got to shorten this up. So, well, just in case you missed your cupcakes, like the whole room, President Peter has graciously offered to sponsor all the cupcakes for the entire year. Ladies, let's bring out the cupcakes. Could we please? Thank God. Hey, save me a chocolate there, Brandy.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Tim, could you supply the sponsorship bill for those cupcakes? Right over here. We got the bill coming over to you. Yep. Make sure Tracy will be waiting at the door to
Happy
take
birthday, everybody.
Yeah. Waiting at the door to take your credit card. Okay. Oh, we have to share. Okay, good to know. Everybody share. Okay. Let's give a big round of applause for President Peter. While you're enjoying those cupcakes, let's highlight a few more of President Peter's accomplishments. COVID canceled many of our traditional Rotary events throughout the year. However, Peter persevered. He continued the tradition of the Eastern Cities Fellowship Dinner virtually, and it was a huge success. President Glennon also developed a strategic plan for the continuity of the club and created a long-range planning for the Sunshine Camp, School Number 8, and other Rotary initiatives. The caliber of the speakers were unbelievable this year. Peter, you and your program committee, headed up by past President Donna Dede, did an outstanding job by bringing in timely and topical presentations. You also upped the virtual luncheon level once again by bringing in international speakers from France, India, and New Zealand. Sorry I had to leave on the runner. I was really upset about that. Okay, it has been a wonderful Rochester Rotary year under your presidency. As every past president knows, it is a huge time commitment away from your business and your family. I want to take a moment to thank Peter's wife, Kim, the Glennon family, and the staff of the Glennon Law Firm for sharing Peter with us this year. We really appreciate it. President Peter, thank you for your humor and your out-of-the-box thinking. As I said at the start of this meeting, you were the right person to take over in an extremely difficult year, and you did so with poise and laughter. As you can see in that slide.
You're so fortunate, right?
I know, I love that. I want it in the Rotary boardroom. Now, there's one more item that we have to undertake. Before first let's give him a round of applause for poise and laughter. Skip the middle. There's one more item that we have to undertake before we can move forward. We need to make an official past president out of him. So, past President Peter Rotary, will you join me at the podium? Where are you? There you are. Past President Rotary, in your opinion, Has President Peter earned admittance into the past President's Club? You want to go?
Up until the cupcake thing. I gotta tell you, my birthday's in July, and I heard this for 11 months and never saw a cupcake, so I was a little frosted. But I'm over it now. I couldn't even look at one of those things. I'm good. No, seriously, Pete, your year, we got ripped off. Seeing you at the podium, so poised, doing what I knew you were going to be fantastic at. It's a real shame that you can get to do every one of your meetings, but we're blessed that we had some. As far as I'm concerned, absolutely.
Absolutely, okay.
It's the mark. Sure. It is. Well as anything.
We got you can hang with me. You want to get those? Okay. Past President John White, you're an excellent judge of character. Do you have anything you would like to add? And we can applaud as he's coming up here.
Thank you, Past President Julie. A couple of major corrections in terms of the introductions that were made here today. Peter has done a beautiful job from a military service standpoint of recognizing all of us who served throughout the course of his presidency with the introductions. And so today I would like to reboot his introduction as Peter J. Glennon, Major, United States Air Force, retired. The other one, Kimberly, and I apologize for this, but we're going to correct it right now. She was introduced as a guest of Peter Glennon. She is in fact entitled to be Madam First Lady.
All right.
So it is now my privilege to actually conduct a vote. Although Julie recognized it, Peter nominated it, but it is my job to poll the past presidents in terms of our agreement as to whether or not Peter J. Glennon, Major United States Air Force, retired, is worthy of joining the Past Presidents Club. There's been some confusion in the past, and some of these nominations, they just get a little wordy, and they just don't make a lot of sense. So I've tried to clarify this so that every one of the past presidents here in attendance understands exactly what you're voting for. All right? Past presidents, are you ready?
Ready.
Okay. I would ask the past presidents to all stand up, please. Be recognized for what you didn't do as well as Peter. Okay. So here is the nomination. The favor of your vote is requested. For all of you who do not deny the favor of an unfavorable opinion about the favorable service of Peter J. Glennon, notwithstanding any unfavorable comments that you may reserve for yourselves. So all in favor of being in favor of the motion not to withhold your unfavorable opinion, please signify by saying aye. So everybody did understand that, right? Is there a quorum?
Sure.
When Bud Brzezinski says sure, it's sure. Thank you very much. Welcome.
Well, Peter, welcome to the club. Come on. Let's do this. Rochester Rotary, I now present to you past president Peter Glennon. Thank you for your service.
Well, I think I have to
Oh,
call
you gotta
somebody
do
else. Sorry.
Here's your little box.
Appreciate that. Thank you, Julie, Pete, John, all past presidents. I always did learn so much from watching you and listening to you and picking up what to do and what not to do, frankly. So thanks. I appreciate that. But if I'm now the immediate past president, that means somebody needs to have this club president pin. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a warm Rochester Rotary welcome for our next president, Scott Rasmussen.
It's Todd.
I mean,
Now you got me confused. I thought you were okay with it.
did you see his photo? Before I put this on, before I make it official, I gotta tell you a quick funny story. Yeah, I actually should. This is final. This is final. So you see, or maybe you saw the official presidential photo with the mask. So I was supposed to do that. Every new president's supposed to do that around now, right? Around May, June. But last year we had COVID, so I couldn't get out and do it. So we're waiting, and finally when things are loosening up a bit, Tracy said, come on, Peter, get down there. You gotta get this photo, I need this photo, I gotta order it. I said, okay, Tracy, I get to it, Kelsey was scheduling it, and I'm moving it, scheduling it, I'm moving it. And then this guy says to me, yeah, I gotta go get my photo too. Yeah, okay, all right, I'll go get my photo, So I finally go down and get my photo. And I show up, it's raining that day, I'm running in, trying to keep everything dry. I meet the photographer down in Canandaigua, a wonderful guy, and he just stares at me and says, who are you? So, Peter Glennon, I'm here. I was told that I have a reservation. By who? Tracy and Kelsey. Who are you? I said, Rochester Rotary president? He said, no, you're not. That guy was here last week. Now, God, enjoy Rochester Rotary president. Congratulations. Thanks.
Without a doubt, the first thing that I want to do is thank this guy one more time for a wonderful year, for holding himself. He's going to hang out just for a second to help me with Kathleen. But let me just talk to you. So we did go into it, but Peter is building his law firm. He's got a wonderful family this time, Honor Flight and Rotary. I mean, how he mixed it, I really don't know, but it gives me no fodder to gripe for the next 12 months. That's for sure. So, Peter, thank you. You did hold us together, and we are ready now to move ahead as a club. So I can't thank you enough. Now, the second official thing I'm going to do is ask Kathleen to come up. Kathleen Pringle, please give her a hand. Kathleen is currently the president-elect, and in a minute she'll be able to be done with that second-elect.
Thank you.
Everybody, president-elect Kathleen Pringle. First thing I want to say is thank you so much. I really did not expect this honor. For those of you that may not be familiar with the procedure, it's about a year and a half ago when they surprised you with it. And so basically I've had a year and a half to be terrified of this particular moment right here. It's either that or you get a year and a half to prepare, but it is an amazing honor, and I tell you what, it is, it's an honor that I don't take lightly, and it is something that I am very serious about because it is without a doubt worthy of my best effort. And my best effort is what you've had, and it's going to be doubled in the next 12 months. because we're in an amazing spot. As I said, thanks to Peter, Tracy, and this whole club, everybody that works so hard. And one of the things you're going to hear a little bit more about from me is committee chairs, largely unpraised as much as they should be praised, because they do a lot of the work. The real good work in this club is through the committee, so I really appreciate the committee chairs on that one. But I believe that we are poised. I mean, this pandemic has been odd in many, many ways. A lot of times we focus on the things that are less than positive, but there's a lot of things that are going to come out of this that are positive. One of the main things I think is that people have even a better appreciation for their community. Everybody loves their family. Maybe they got a little more time with their family, but now I think that there's going to be more people devoting a little more time because they understand the balance in life a little bit more than they have before. Sort of a curious time. But what that means to us is that we can double down on everything that we are doing for our community. That was an amazing tribute that we learned really why we do what we do for kids with special abilities. It's really, really awesome. So I'm just delighted to do this. And I thank everybody very sincerely for what we're about to do for the next 12 months. And with that, I'm going to do my first ever, and this will give you a little bit of a prelude, but they don't really tell you much about the thought for the day, so you get to do what you want. But first, I just want to mention that next week we are off. Please enjoy the holiday. Everybody be safe. We will be back right here in 2 weeks on July 13th. And I hope you'll join me. And we're going to talk a little bit more about the club, specifically where we are, and even more specifically where we're heading, because it's a very bright day for Rochester Rotary. So please stay tuned for it. And I'd like to close with my thought for the day. And this will give you a little bit of an understanding of what I'm going to talk about in a couple weeks. The tragedy in life doesn't lie in not reaching your goal. The tragedy lies on not having a goal to reach. So stay tuned for that. And with that, wait a minute, I've never done this before.
I just got to today for the first time.
Yep, with this, I call the meeting adjourned.
What do you think of that? Good? Thanks for coming. Really appreciate it. Kelsey, thank you.
By the way, I didn't do this just for a long time. July, you can never must have been on page 2, July 31st.
You gotta take that up with him.
Oh, no. You're the president. You're the guy. I'll go rip into it. I say nothing if that's not the problem. Okay. I already have it. But I didn't get my cupcakes either.
Scott Anthony kept calling and complaining. Where's my
You missed. I'm on page 2 of July. I gotta find.
All right, Charlie, thank you, buddy.
Anyway, great job.
Thanks, Gary. I appreciate it.
Hello, my dear.
You are fearless. That's going to work out.
I cannot see you. Sorry, it was too funny. That was too damn funny. Anyway, but it's nice to see you.
I think it's got to be harder.
Yeah, it's really nice. Yeah, Facebook has.
I want to say hi. I haven't seen you guys in a while. It's so good to see you. That's scary. My hands are empty now.
Nothing there, no wires. You had to try the toys.
Yeah, that's fine. Now that we have that curtain blocking it.
Hey!
Ready?
Peter.
1, 2, 3.
Good to be seen. Can I have this?
Perfect. Thank you.
You press the button, we do the rest.
Good. I'll share it. You put it up and I'll share
But the beauty of it is what? If you do this, watch. If I go to a wide shot, wide now. And stop. Because I got serious. I want to talk to you.
My son. I said, Michael, came up in my camera roll 7 years
over here. That'll be on Facebook. All the mistake is ever
Well, I think I proved real quick on Donnell.